So what makes a good question? To start off with, think about the best learning experience you've been a part of. What kind of process was it? Was it a trial and error process, an apprenticeship? Was it practicing and interacting with family and friends? Or was it a lecture? What made that a great experience? Well, most people say it's got to be problem-centered. It's got to address a personal need that we see. We have to be actively engaged. It's got to be results-oriented. And in all likelihood, it's not going to be a lecture. Facilitated discussion is a great example of the environment where good questions can work. A teacher guides the discussion, but doesn't answer the questions. That may not be obvious to us. Goal is a changed life, not just a transfer of information. What makes a good question? Well, a good question is succinct. It's focused on an outcome. It stimulates thought. It invites further conversation and clarification. It draws other people into the conversation. It gets a response. It raises important issues and clarifies the question. And it probably doesn't have one single correct answer. It focuses on a single issue. What else can we say about a good question? Well, good discussion questions are typically open, not closed questions. What we mean by that is it doesn't have a single expected answer, but it stimulates thought and interaction. Closed questions may be great for starting a conversation, but they need to be followed by open questions that stimulate further thought. Closed questions may also be referred to as leading questions, where there's one assumed correct answer. That tends to stop conversation. Once you have given the answer the leader's looking for, what else can there be to say? Open questions can also challenge participants to dig deeper, to get to the root of the issue. Extender questions are a good example. Here are some samples. What did you mean by that? Could you give us an example? Where would you find that in the Bible? How does that relate to the topic at hand? Have you seen that work in real life, in your experience? How? Could we implement that in our church? Could we implement it in our personal lives? If what you're saying is true, what are the implications? So use extender questions like this to stimulate deeper thought and discussion to get to the heart of the issue. Here's some other recommendations to think about. This is a hard one, but let silence be your friend. Sometimes people get quiet in the group because everyone's afraid to speak. But at other times, it's because they need time to collect their thoughts and wrestle with the issue. If you think it's the latter, discipline yourself to wait. Count to 10. It'll feel like a long time, but it really isn't. Second, don't, at least normally, answer your own questions. Instead, restate it or redirect the request for answers back to the group. Third, be aware of your group's dynamics. Adjust the questions to make them more relevant for your group. If some members are quiet, ask questions that will help draw them into the discussion. Howard Hendricks recommends spending more time questioning answers than answering questions. Our goal is to develop self-directed, disciplined disciples. It may feel uncomfortable, but be willing to leave loose ends for your group to think about rather than trying to answer every question. Some of your group members may not be looking for that, so this will be an area of challenge for you, to leave them hanging. Be sure to follow up the following week and make sure that they have an opportunity to resolve those questions. It's important to end the discussion in a way that challenges people to think or act differently. Summarize and clarify the discussion. Make sure your summary represents what the group discussed and not just your own insights. And then clearly identify any outstanding issues that the group still needs to resolve. And invite others to help you with the summary. You might ask, is that a fair summary of our discussion? Finally, remember that the goal is not information transfer or purely cognitive, but life transformation. As we engage our heart, soul, mind, and strength, we cooperate with the Holy Spirit for our sanctification.